Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Friday Night Chill with Will. I'm Will, and I hope you guys have been having a good week. My week has been good, cannot complain. I am prepping for some family to visit for vacation. They're going to be here for a week, so you might see me in similar clothes recording a second episode, or you might not. We'll see what happens. But anywho, for tonight's episode, I did kind of want to delve into a topic that I have spoken about pretty extensively, I think, on Instagram, if you follow me over there. And I've definitely made my feelings known on it on various social media platforms, but I haven't really dedicated an episode to it. And I think at this point, it just kind of warrants an episode. So I want to talk about generative AI and sort of just my thoughts on all of it and just kind of where we are at with it right now, because I don't think I could have really predicted any of what is happening with it. I really was, I guess I was just being hopeful that it was just going to be sort of like a fad that would like come and go very quickly, and like, because trends come and go like super fast now, like nothing really lingers very long. But I think unfortunately generative AI is something that is going to be sticking around, and we have to figure out best ways to navigate it. Now, if you are one of the lucky few who can say you don't know what generative AI is, it's things basically in the open AI realm, ChatGPT and other similar, companies have just sort of taken to creating, I guess they're like, I don't even know exactly what they're called, but they're just like basically like models and protocols that can take pre-existing things that exist on the internet, recognize what they are, and just sort of recomposite them in a new way. And I say it takes stuff because the AI model only knows as much as the information it is given. And this model and many like it exist to take from things that exist on the internet already. And it's sort of crazy to me, just sort of how quickly things are sort of devolving with it. We have ChatGPT, and I used ChatGPT once in the time that it's been around. It feels like it's been around forever, but I think it's only been like a year. I remember using it once to try and generate a cover letter for a job I was applying for, and I used it the one time and never really used it again, because like I thought it was interesting that it was able to do what it did, right? But at the same time, when I was like reading through it at the end, I was just like, man, this all is just kind of unnecessarily wordy. I understand it's like, cover letters and like professional things for applications, they all have a lot of like word salad that these companies want. So that way, you can say the right thing and they'll like look at it. But now it's getting to a point where companies aren't even looking at these things. They're using AI models to see if you're using AI to pick those, and sort of it's a thing where it's like cannibalizing itself, and it's really affecting our real life pretty drastically, whether it be environmentally, creatively, and just sort of like with things on the internet. And of course, it's also turned into a grift because it's become an excuse for people who are untalented and don't want to learn a skill. It's given them something so that way they can create a platform for themselves And it's really fucking scary because of the lack of regulation on it. I've seen recently YouTube did put into effect some rules regarding AI, that channels that use AI voices can no longer be monetized, which I am personally very thankful for as someone who has been creating on the internet for over 10 years. It's sort of like, it's sort of pissed me off that there's been these channels that have come in on that platform in the past year or two and have been using sort of these fake AI generated voices to generate clout for themselves and generate money for like nothing, no effort content. And so it doesn't completely stop the problem where it's like these people just typing a bunch of random shit into ChatGPT and creating these nonsense scripts that don't mean anything, just to create a video essay that lasts like 20 minutes that doesn't offer any kind of perspective or anything, but just regurgitates information at you. It doesn't completely stop that, but it does help mitigate the incentive for doing that. Because if a lot of these people can't make money doing that, then a lot of them aren't really going to make content, because there's very few people who make things online who just do it for the love of the game. Hi, I'm one of those that just kind of does it for the love of the game. If I could do this for a job, that'd be great, but it's not something I really focus on. I just like doing it. And that's sort of like the problem with ChatGPT. It just kind of open AI. It just takes the humanity out of the creative process. And it's very frustrating to see these people who are not creative and have never been creative claim that they are. Because they're not. It's like, it's people that are like Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and all these other tech bros. It's all these people who think they are this thing, and they really are not, because all they do is talk to a computer all fucking day. Like, the people who use ChatGPT the most don't realize that this essentially becomes a feedback loop. I've heard a lot of stories of people using ChatGPT as a therapist, and that is fucking scary, you guys. That is not good. We should not be doing that, because it is not that's not good. You are going to drive yourself crazy, because you are literally talking to yourself. A lot of people think that this thing knows, gets to know you or whatever, and like it does, and eventually it learns like things about you to an extent where it just sort of affirms all of your choices and just sort of gives you reasoning for why you are being shitty or whatever. It doesn't offer a perspective. That's sort of the general takeaway, is that ChatGPT and generative AI, it doesn't offer a perspective. All it does is just take things that are already established and just spits them out in a more shitty way. And I really want people to understand this. And I do not want to mince my words that if you use ChatGPT regularly, you are a fucking loser. Okay, like I want to make sure you understand. If you use generative AI on a regular basis and you still have the nerve to call yourself a creative, you are so fucking lame, and you are not creative. I'm sorry. Like you lose all creative respect from me when you just sell out to this technology that steals from other artists. And there's proof on proof that it does that, but you still choose to use it anyway. And that's like the frustrating thing, especially seeing like industry professionals using this shit. It's actually insane. I heard a story today of someone going to an escape room and then asking ChatGPT how to get out of the escape room that ChatGPT had never been in before, because the escape room is a real physical place that doesn't exist on the internet. So ChatGPT wouldn't know what the fuck that room is, you know? And it's just insane to me that people use this to the degree that they do right now, that they are essentially trading their fucking brains to use this thing. They use it so liberally and just without caution. They use this shit like Google, and this shit is not Google, you guys. I don't know how the fuck to make that clear to you, but ChatGPT and all of these generative AI things are not Google. If you want to learn how to do something, then you have to actually go out and search for it. You can't go out onto a fucking text box, type in a bunch of words, and then have this thing spit things out at you. And because that's just not how it works, because there's so much information on there that's incorrect and just not how things work. And it's so frustrating. It's making the internet a very daunting place to exist on, especially when you are a person who creates things and really enjoys doing it, because it just makes you feel like, well, what the fuck is the point of what the hell I'm doing if some dumb motherfucker over here can just create a fucking podcast in like 5 seconds about nothing. And then like you get into like music and stuff, and like especially with like images and video, like it all looks fucking weird. Like especially those videos creep me the fuck out. I don't know why the fuck people go ahead and use that shit, because like, okay, so like I didn't even feel comfortable using those old, I don't know if any of y'all remember it, there were like these websites back in the day where you paid like, sometimes you pay like $5, I guess, and they would like have this animated like template or whatever, and you could like put your face in there. And so I remember like my family did it one year for like fucking Christmas cards or something. It was like a video with like a bunch of elves dancing to some song. Can't remember what it was, but it just like pasted our faces on it. And that was like ultimately harmless, because it was like a template, and it didn't like, an artist was paid to make that template and then it was sold. It wasn't a thing where like some motherfucker typed in, I want to create a video with 5 elves dancing and I would like to Photoshop my aunt, uncle, and dad onto the elves. You know what I mean? It wasn't something like that. There was a creative process put into it, and then it was sold, and the artist, at least from what I would hope, the artist got paid for doing that work. But now it's just like some people like get on and they just like they just make these weird ass fucking AI videos. Like I saw one guy today, he's like this Brazilian guy I follow, he's like super jacked, he's like, I think he's a DJ or whatever, and he made one of like a selfie he took earlier that day. So it was one of those where like they take a picture and then the AI uses the picture to like animate stuff, so it's animating a still photo, and so it animates this random ass fucking child. And he's Brazilian, so the caption was in Portuguese, but I think it was like something about wanting kids. And so it was just like this random AI generated fucking kid. It just looked kind of like an alien, because it was like super white and stuff. And it was so fucking weird. And then his face didn't even look like his face, because the AI model like didn't know what the fuck his face looked like. It was just so fucking weird, you guys. And like that's just like another thing about it. AI is just so fucking weird. All of this AI slop you're seeing on the internet is just so fucking weird and bizarre to look at. It's like I can't look at a lot of it for a long time, because it just makes me physically uncomfortable, because it just, at least for me, you can just tell that there's nothing in it. There's nothing. There's just nothing here. It's just moving. It's just an image. It doesn't have any like emotion. It doesn't have any feeling in it. It just feels like content. It feels like nothing on my screen. And it's very discouraging right now. And, you know, my only hope is that we begin working towards not using it. I don't know how that's going to go, though, because so many people have already incorporated it into their lives. It's actually insane. I don't know how we get back, or at least get to a place where it's more reasonable, because I don't know, man, it's getting really scary. My ultimate pro tip for this is, if you don't need fucking ChatGPT for it, don't fucking use it. Like, don't fucking use it. Like, you don't need to use it. I used it one time to create a cover letter for a job I was applying at, and I never used it again because I didn't really see the appeal. The AI doesn't really understand human attention span. It doesn't really understand all the intricacies of the creative process of even creating a paragraph, creating a cover letter. It doesn't understand all the human intricacies to that. And I don't think it ever will, really, because it can't think like a human. It only knows as much as we tell it. It is still a machine at the end of the day. And I don't know, man. I'm just over it, and I need people to be over it soon. I don't know if that will happen, but just know that this is a generative AI hate account. If you use generative AI, you're a loser. Full stop. Yeah, I don't really care about offending you, because I don't really have respect for you, because it's just, it wouldn't, I think it's also the fact that this shit is being shoved in our faces so fucking blatantly. It is actually infuriating. My video editor that I use to edit this show has been bogged down with AI features for the past year and a half, and some of them are okay. So for example, there is a background audio removal tool where it tunes audio, so if there's weird noises persistent in the background of a certain thing, you can use the AI to eliminate that annoying sound. When it's used in that way, that's fine. But what I have a problem with is when we start using it to create things that didn't even really fucking happen. We use it for deep fakes and stuff. I always thought deep fakes were kind of creepy, and especially with voice replicators the past it's been 6 or 7 years for those. They're very fucking weird, and now they're just getting to a point where it's we aren't going to be able to trust who the fuck we're talking to. You can't it's even carrying over into the fucking drive-thru. Okay, let me fucking tell you, I've been to Dave's Hot Chicken. It's mostly at chicken places. Been to Popeyes, I've been to Dave's Hot Chicken, and I've gone to those a few times, and the past couple times I've gone, they've had an AI fucking bot on the speaker, and it has made me so upset, because my biggest thing is, why? Who is this helping? I don't know who this is helping, and I don't know how much time this is saving, eliminating the person on the headset in a drive-thru. It's just eliminating more of a human interaction, because okay, all these companies have invested money into this technology that they want everyone to use, and the technology is just not as helpful as they think it's going to be, but they can't get rid of it because they already invested the money into it. It's just at my job, they invested in this kiosk system for a check-in a few years ago, and we've sort of been stuck with it. And when I tell you I have to help nearly everyone who comes into work with it, because no one can operate a fucking tablet on their own. No one can read shit on their own. Like, that's just where we are at, and I've sort of just accepted that. We've made so many processes harder than they need to be because these corporations are trying to eliminate the human factor out of everything. And that includes now the fucking creative process, which is where ChatGPT comes in. Because that's what it is. It's a lot of these corporations trying to get away with doing the bare minimum so that way they can continue making fuck tons of money for like making content or whatever the fuck on the internet. That's just sort of what it's come to. And it's been taking a lot of intervention from, you know, advocacy groups and, you know, unions and things like that to stop it from getting as bad as it could be. But we still have a long way to go when it comes to regulating this shit. And I think we just really need to get on it like as soon as possible, because it's just, I don't think it's going to get any better. I don't think it's going to get any better. And some country has got to start doing shit so that way others can start following suit. I don't know who's going to be first. I definitely don't think it's going to be the United States. We're going to be kind of fucked for a minute. Just with everything going on. That's just sort of fate, I guess. I don't know. It's just like sign of the times. I don't know how the fuck to describe it. I had a word I was looking for. I can't find it, but it's just added to the pile of other shit the United States has got going on right now. But I don't know, maybe someone in like Australia or the UK or Asia can like figure this shit out. I know Asia banned trading cryptocurrencies, which I think is interesting. Don't think the United States is going to be doing that. Our president has too much invested in that. So, but it is interesting to see a world power sort of not acknowledge cryptocurrency, because that's sort of another thing like ChatGPT where everyone, but that one was more like a fad, like I thought it was going to be. Like cryptocurrency really lost meaning after 2020 when NFTs and all that shit happened. Yeah, those things, cryptocurrency kind of went to die, and it sort of just exists ironically. I don't really think there's that much value in it, but whatever. That's a different topic for a different day. But, you know, all that to say, check yourself if you're using ChatGPT. Please stop. You know, like, if you're using it for, like, daily things, like, really reconsider what you are doing to yourself. Because we are seeing an epidemic where people are losing their sanity and their intelligence to an algorithm and a model, an online model. And it's very discouraging. Like, you don't need to do that. Like, if you want to learn how to like make videos, then just learn. There's so many resources on the internet that you can learn how to do stuff. You can learn how to play an instrument. You can learn how to paint a picture. You can learn how to draw. You can learn how to create. Like, that's the thing. Like, these are all things that you can learn how to do. But there's so many people in the world that are, like, trying to get online and just create a platform of clout. And they don't want to do any of the fucking work. And I think we really need to get to a place where we call out people who are not doing the fucking work and who are just trying to grift using this generative AI bullshit art. You know, like, we got to start calling them out. We got to start telling them they're untalented. Because, like, really shame is the only thing these people respond to. And that's just sort of the point we're at. Like, it's gotten to a point where shame isn't really, like, something we do anymore. But I think we really, really got to start making it a thing again. Because it may seem like these entities are unaffected by shame because at the end of the day, they're still making their money. But I promise you, the shame does get to them and it does affect their psyche. And it does get to them after a while. But you have to stay persistent with it. So stay on that. If you see someone using generative AI, call them out on it. Call them untalented. Do what you got to do. Shame them, because we gotta do something. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did and you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe so you can see more episodes that I put out. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you rate and review the show. You can leave a comment on Spotify. You can follow the shows there. I would appreciate any of that. If you want to keep up with me and anything else I got going on, you can follow me anywhere on the internet at Willie J. Co. And until next time, you guys, I will see you next time for another Friday Night Chill.